Good morning, Hendrina. Lovely to see you, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you. Lovely to see you as well.
Thank you. To our audience, good morning, and I'm Parul, life and leadership coach. You've seen me in lots of videos, so this is one of my regular episode that we try to bring women from all over the world to give you some tips to motivate you and help you on your journey towards improving your self-confidence by listening from different experts, people from different life experiences. So please feel free to share, subscribe, and like our videos. So today we have a special guest joining from all the way from Namibia. Next to South Africa. Hendrina Hauslku. So Hendrina is a young woman, experienced with real estate, but also she's a woman empowerment leader, which she is very proud of. So today we'll be hearing from Hendrina about her road to self-discovery, how she discovered herself, and I hope that gives quite a lot of motivation to especially young women who are trying to find their way in life and move forward. So welcome to our platform, Hendrina. I'll be asking you some questions, so feel free to kind of expand and be yourself. What would be really good if you could introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, so kind of your story really.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored and so blessed to be here. My name is Hendrina Hauslku, all the way from Namibia, 27-year-old young lady. I am a woman empowerment leader, a speaker, entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. Selfless, loving, caring, seeking to become a better version of myself. This is who I am.
Oh, great to hear, Hendrina.
Thank you.
If you could tell us a bit about your story, what was your reason to become a woman empowerment leader? What was your reason? If you could explain a bit more, so that would be really interesting for our other young women.
Okay, I would say I grew up being raised. We grew up 5. That makes me the only girl among 4 men, and we were only 2 women in the household full of men, and my father and my brothers. So growing up as a young lady, I quite didn't understand myself. I faced a lot of rejection. I faced a lot of betrayal from friends and really pretty bad decisions based on relationships. And I've really grown up from a background where loving background, but so many things hit me at a very young age. And sometimes I just lost myself, I got into bad relationships. I sat with bad friends. I started partying at a very young age. I just did not have any idea of who I really am, and little by little, everything affected me. And with this affecting me, I allowed people to overcrowd me. In other words, I'd allow people to say who I am. And it was so difficult because I didn't know who I am anymore. I didn't know what I'm supposed to do. I was literally doing so bad with school. At a point, I didn't even want to do school anymore. So I had no way to life. And mind you, during that time, it was hard, especially when you're young, getting into young relationships and seeing older people. It kind of really affects your life, and not knowing. And my parents were so strict, so I couldn't really run to tell them I'm going through this, I'm going through that. So with time, I learned to detach, and this is how my life changed. I went back to school in South Africa, 2016 to 2018. This is where the journey of this woman you're seeing right here began. I detached myself. I just had to leave the environment because I didn't want to go to school anymore. I was working, but it wasn't giving me enough. It wasn't making sense of what I am really, So I went to South Africa. I went back to school because I wanted to do law, but I didn't have enough points, So I I moved in with my sister and her friend, and I went back to school and I started understanding, giving myself time. I had a lot to do with forgiveness. I had to forgive people who did me wrong, people who did things hurtful to me. And it's the smallest things that affect a woman that makes her become so full of resentment and bitterness. And knowing myself, I'm full of love, full of good potential. I didn't want that to affect me. So I needed to start somewhere, and I needed to start with breaking down systems that affected who I am. In other words, I took time to evaluate my strength and my weaknesses. And what also helped me a lot was also just praying a lot, because you can be so good, you can be good, you can be having such a great life, but if you don't pray, it also affects you. So I started sitting down with myself and tell myself, who am I? I started looking at myself. I started getting new habits. I started to detach on things that no longer brought me growth, but brought me potential, brought me investment, brought me to discover myself. Who am I? I started working on myself. I started eating healthy, going out to exercise. I started reading a lot. Reading a lot helped me a lot, I'm telling you. And with all this being done, I was really damaged because I come a little bit of a violent background. So it was so hard growing up with seeing women being beaten, growing up seeing women answered rudely. And we were so slaved with just doing things the certain way as according to society. That's what we were, as women, we were labored for. So I really wanted to break out of all of that, and it had to start with me looking at myself, telling myself, you know what, if I sit the way I'm sitting, I'm going to lose. So I had to really come out of it, and I had to place myself at a place where I say, sometimes you need to break out of your comfort zone. And this is what I did. The 4 years of going to South Africa made me see myself as a different woman. Challenges are there, always will be there, but I broke out and I started really focusing on myself, focusing on what I can give to someone else. And I can't give if I didn't work on myself. So I had to
Absolutely.
work on myself. I had to study myself. I had to give myself time. Rome wasn't built in one day, Parul. It wasn't built in one day. So
Yeah.
I had to literally coach myself. I had to motivate myself. I had to, work on my wounds. I had to work on forgiving. I had to work on letting go of certain things because sometimes when you move forward, certain things can still hold you back. This
Yeah.
can be emotions. This can be people. This can be association. So I really had to make a difference of wanting to be where I am today or going back and becoming a slave of what I would have been if I had remained there. And I slowly but surely I break forth, and this is who I am: a self-empowered woman leader, an entrepreneur. And I'm telling you, it's just amazing when you get to really discover yourself, because you discover things you have not known about yourself.
Wow, that is a great, a lot of information. I wanted to ask you how or what triggered you to go back to education? I mean, you said you were lost, kind of doing everything you know supposed to do. What
Very.
anybody helped you, or what triggered you? You decided to go back to education.
Um, I had my dad and my mother were one of the most strongest pillars I had by that time. And what triggered me was understanding that as a woman, you need to get up and do something.
Mm-hmm.
We have grown with society or communities that tell us that women are only supposed to be in kitchen. That's not true. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Sorry to say that though, but it's not true. So I asked myself, what do I want to be? I was very good with hospitality. I worked as a service ambassador in Hilton Hotel, Namibia. So one lady approached me and said, "Hey, young woman." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I served her coffee, and I really took care of her because she was an incoming guest. And she looked at me and she said to me, "Why are you here?" I'm like, "What do you mean, ma'am?" And she said, "No, my dear, you have so much to give back." And remembering well, she was a lawyer, so I always wanted to be a lawyer. I was a very good debating speaker in school, so I always wanted to. I have a solution mindset. If you give me a problem, I'm gonna solve it. I believe I have that game-changing mindset. Like, no, things need to change. So when she looked at me, she told me that, no, you can do so much. Why don't you go back to school? This job won't give you much, but you can do better than this. And I went back and I said to myself, I said, what? Really? can I become someone? But I've already failed in this. So how am I going to go back? Where am I going to start? And I had a friend whose sister was in South Africa, and she contacted us and she said, guys, why don't you guys want to come back to school? And I'm like, no, but I can't go back to school. My years are old. And what am I going to do? She said, no, you can actually come back. And trust me, from here, you will shoot after your school. You will do so many things and you'll go far. And with that, it was triggered with loneliness, with being disadvantaged. You can't enter certain systems if you don't have a particular qualification. You can't enter or do business if you don't have a certain requirement. So I said to myself, 4 good years of my life can actually change my life than remaining in this job for 4 good years and still remaining on a salary. And when she gave me that, I realized that, okay, fine, let me go back to school. So what triggered me is understanding that, even to do certain things, you have to have a particular qualification or a requirement. It may not necessarily be a degree, but even to access certain coaching platforms, there are certain things that have to be actually given to you. So I just decided, you know what, I don't want to be among those women who just sit and cry and, so I said to myself, okay, fine. It was going back, but I was going back to shoot back where I am today.
Wow, that is a great story, Hendrina, and how you self-motivated yourself. And I think that's where a lot of women get stuck is, or men actually, is self-motivation. I mean, obviously you had someone, who kind of pointed to the direction. By end of the day, is your initiative and your, motivation really will get you there wherever you want to go. So it's realizing your own potential. And once you realize, and as you mentioned, one step at a time, because you can't you can't access success overnight. You have to work on it, step by step to get where you are, and now you've got quite a lot of, you into lots of women's group and things you mentioned before. Can you elaborate a bit more what you exactly do with women?
Okay, I am currently actually a leader in both platforms, which is one is called Answer to Another. One is called Transformational Women. Answer to Another is a group of women that come together to be mentored, women that have faced the most worst kind of stuff, violence, rape at a young age, rejection, so many from different backgrounds, and it's global everywhere. So I took time to join this because, like I said, I was among those women who lost life, who lost their path in life, who once upon a time who didn't even know what they wanted. And I needed someone to help me. I needed someone, someone bigger than myself or someone better than doing what I am to help me, because I needed help. I was low self-esteem. I didn't have that much of confidence. So I needed a place where I can start off. And I've always wanted to be a woman that's able to influence other women, big, young, small, it doesn't matter, as long as I'm just impacting someone. So being a leader on this platform also allowed me to open up a branch here under the same organization, which is called Answer to Another, Zambia. So I gathered women, and I must say, when I started working on myself and developing myself, I must say that it really helped me, because other women approached me. How did you do this? What made you become this? How did you, what are you using? And it was simple. I gathered around women who wanted the same thing as I wanted, who wanted healing, who wanted to be helped with confidence, who wanted to be helped to come to realize, to discover who they are, what their purposes are. And after leading in, so they chose me as executive leader in Namibia, which I am at the moment. We are currently 7 of us as leaders. So as I came into it, other women started coming in. My friends, some of them are far, they joined this platform. And Transformational Women is another beautiful platform, because it's where women bring transformative changes to your life, to your business, to your marriage, whatever, you name it. It's global, and it's just so impactful that I have grown from it. I won't say every single day. There's something being dropped. And this is the beauty of women coming together, joining hands together, holding together, regardless of what you're going through. There is room for hope. There is room for healing. There is room to become greater and better, even though you went through the worst. That's the story we take, and we become so big. We become so transformative among one another. We become literally like a hand to hold on to one another.
Wow, that sounded, like 2 different fantastic women's grouping being part of. if we have listeners, audience from all over the world. If women want to join, whether they are from Namibia or South Africa, wherever it is, how they get in touch with you? Is there website numbers that you can supply after the video that people can get in touch?
Yes, I definitely will send some invitations as well where women can join. Since there is a website provided for women who would love to join, because mainly people from all over, whether you're from India, whether you're from Dubai, England, you're welcome to join the platform. Like I said, it's a place to grow, a place to be nurtured, to be taken care of, and we are allowed to be vulnerable at times.
Yeah.
So definitely I will provide details after this recording as well for those who'd like to join us and be part of an amazing coaching platforms, amazing Bible study sessions, so many other platforms, business rebranding, much more to provide with.
Wow, that's great to hear. Now, you self-discover yourself. So what would be interesting to find out a bit more from your experience, if you give our audience, especially young women like yourself, who kind of like some tips, what to do or how they can move forward with their life. Some tips would be really helpful from your own experience.
Okay, first of all, I'd want to speak to somebody today who's here. And one of the biggest things I'll tell you is quit pity parties. You're pitying yourself. That is one of the things that you first need to do. Stop pitying yourself. It was never meant to be easy. It will never be easy, but stop pitying. Because the moment you always constantly pity yourself, for instance, if I had said where I am years back and told myself, but I didn't finish school, but what? You want people to pity you, but guess what? People have their own things to do. You Absolutely. Have a choice to make a decision on who you want to become. And this decision lies within yourself. When I looked at this topic, when you asked me today, what is self-confidence? Self-confidence is an attitude about your skills, about your abilities. It's judgment within yourself. If you can see who you're becoming right now, where you are, if you visualize yourself as becoming a great businesswoman, a great life leadership coach, you can become, but it cannot start with you pitying yourself. You want people to feel sorry for yourself? I'm sorry. You need to do something about it. And number one, you have to stop the pity party. Many people dwell on this pity party because we all want to be felt. So I know it's painful. I know that we all don't go through the same things, honestly speaking. And this is really heartbreaking because some people go through domestic violence, some go through rape at a young age, and some of them don't have a sense of really living anymore. But I want to tell someone that, there's hope for you. And there's hope for myself as well. So stop the pity party. Discover your strength and your weakness. That's number two. What are you good at? What is your weakness? Look at yourself. Put yourself at, drop yourself as a book. Write maybe on your left-hand side your strength. Are you good with it? What are you good with? For instance, probably you are good with cooking. You are good with gathering fruits. You are good with probably bringing things together, and when you cook, everything just becomes delicious. Focus on your strength. What are your weaknesses? Maybe you're not on time, maybe you don't know how to talk to people properly. Work on your weakness. The more time you spend working on your weakness, you actually fill in more room for your strength, and that's how you discover who you are. Then you know how to approach guests, you'd know how to deliver your quotations, you'd know how to connect with people, because you have a certain way of aroma of actually helping people. So in other words, you render service when you articulate yourself on both your weakness and your strength. Then thirdly, get yourself together. Get up. Yes, get up. Stop crying, stop wanting to feel like it's all over for you. It's the beginning of you. Get up, exercise, eat healthy, clean up yourself, bath. Oh my goodness, get your hair done, get your nails done, take care of yourself. And by taking care of yourself, you discover that, okay, I can wear this, I can't wear this, I can do this hairstyle. My nails actually look quite greater with a dark or light color. Fix up yourself, smile, my goodness, smile. The world is yet to see the beauty inside of you. I can't discover you if you're all dressed up, feeling lonely, wanting me to feel pity. No, 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 no. Get up. If you don't like your body the way it is, love yourself, but change yourself. Go to exercise. In a day, do it maybe morning and evening. Bath and do your hair, live and breathe. And then also meditate, meditate. If you pray, pray, read the word, read in the word. But get to a point where you sit down with yourself and meditate. Find yourself in those silent moments. Find your abilities, find your worth, know your value, and this can happen when you meditate. Read books, educate yourself. A lot of people put limits to education. You would be surprised if I tell you that the day I had been accepted to university to do my bachelor's of commerce, my mother just lost her job right there. And I was so down. I'm like, God, but I had budgeted up to school. I'm going to do my degree. It didn't happen the way I intended it to happen. But guess what? I tried my best to get educated. I got a job. I made sure I tried to read, even though I wasn't on varsity. I borrowed books from people who did marketing and sales. I asked them questions. Get yourself educated. Read books. Encourage yourself. Get to platforms that help you, that need to help you to, probably with your skill, probably with your profession, So it's not just at university. We have coaching platforms like your coaching platforms. Get to know more about confidence. Get to know more about what can I do to make myself a better, or how can I discover myself better. So find resources, put them together and become you. And also remember one thing is, Rome wasn't built in one day. Take time with yourself. Breathe. Open your eyes and thank yourself, Look to yourself like, yes, you're an achievement, because you're an achievement. Even though you've encountered failure in that business, failure in that environment, that is not the end for you. Get up, acknowledge your wins. If you wanted getting a driver's license, you won. If you wanted succeeding at achieving a certified leadership coaching material, you achieved that. So take time. It's baby steps every single day, and get out of your comfort zone. A lot of women want to grow, but they don't want to risk it. How do you intend to become a great businesswoman, or how do you intend to become a coaching person, or how do you intend to just do a doctor, but you're not willing to come out from your comfort zone? Get out of your comfort zone. I'm speaking this to every woman, be it you're great, be it you're successful. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of it. If you have to do something, leave your comfort zone. Get out and find yourself. Meet people. Try and talk to people. Try and engage yourself. Try and learn as much as possible, And these are the tips. And the other thing is, be yourself. Confidence sometimes I've realized is in your attitude. You just know when I'm about to sign this contract, I'm done. Look at yourself like, yes, talk to yourself in the mirror. I do this every day and this helps. You see, I tell myself, good morning, Queen. And I'm like, wow, how is this far? How are you? I would yes, you've done it again. I would tell myself, you are so blessed. You are beautiful. You are unique. You are standard. Girl, you got to have some bit of class. Appreciate yourself, love yourself. Above all, don't discourage yourself. This is one of the factors you can never come around me and feel discouraged. It is a never, it's a no. You either live empowered, you live to get better, you live to become who you need to become, because that's all that it takes. We only have one life. So we need to plan well and do well. So refuse to be pitied, refuse to be demoralized. Get up, find your why in life. Ask yourself, why am I living? Why am I here on earth? What am I doing? What do I want to become? So these are the tips, and most importantly, appreciate yourself. For you being here today, just running this record on its own, just taking time to host me, appreciate yourself. Appreciate yourself for being here. Appreciate yourself for learning from other great women. And this is how it becomes. When we learn from women like you, Parul, this is how we climb the ladder. We need one another, and this is what helps. Those are the tips I can tell. And smile. Some of you are too angry. This is why when someone wants to approach you, they're like, oh no, I think she's in a bad mood. Smile, even if it means you're going on your first date, you used to smile. So why are you angry? Nothing is ever temporary. Not that problem, not that obstacle, not that challenges. Let's learn to embrace challenges with an overcoming mindset. Like I remember when I lost my dad a few months ago, I was so demoralized. I was like, oh my goodness, where am I going to start now? I'm just starting, and dad just left. And I told myself, if he was still here, he would have wanted to see me win. He would have wanted me to get on and say, hey, push on. He just ran his race and he played it so well. So what am I doing with my race? That's what you need to put into mind. Every morning when you get up, there is an opportunity to do better. You can improve. You can work on yourself. If you're not confident, try and look in the mirror. The mirror is the safest place because no one can see you. So if you have to lock the room, but look at yourself and tell yourself, I will make it. Regardless, I will make it. Tomorrow, my story is a story to someone else. And that's what we're supposed to be working on. These are the tips I can provide you with.
Wow, that's fantastic, Hendrina. Everything I can see your passion to help other women, and passion to be a woman leader and empowering other women. You provided a lot of tips, and I like the word you said. This is not the end; it is a beginning of a journey.
Yes.
And as you said, loads of women all over the world, in a different hardship, whether people have been abused, people have been, raped, and, in a domestic violence situation or past experiences, but is coming out of those situations and loving yourself, smiling. And important, if you don't love yourself, nobody else will love you. So it's important to take care of yourself. And you gave quite a lot of tips of steps people can do, meditations, doing things to look good, positive affirmations, be out there and seek help. There are loads of groups, especially now with technology. Help is available all over the world. It doesn't have to restrict in one country. You can join so many, there's loads of free women's group you can join. It doesn't have to pay for it, there's loads of help available. So it's important to realize that and go for it, because at the end of the day, you have to take the initiative. Nobody else will do for you. And that's, I think, really important point you've said, that's great. So that's coming to my kind of final question to you is, if you were to leave some thoughts for our young people or young women who lack self-confidence or who are stuck in a situation and can't find their way out, what would that thought be?
Kindly repeat that again for me.
Yeah, if you were to leave some thoughts for young people or young women who lack self-confidence, what would that be?
Wow, what a good one. Okay, first of all, I need a young woman to realize that we weren't born for the easy things. First of all, women, we are special. And in our specialness, there's always a broken thing inside of us. And being broken at times is so bad that we don't see the final product of everything, And I just want to tell to my younger self or to a younger woman out there that if you are not determined to get up and fight, who's going to fight for you? Wow. Who's going to liberate you from your struggle? Who's going to liberate you from your problems? Who's going to bring a solution if you're not willing to bring yourself a solution? If you are to look at women all over the world, women, we suffer scars that no one even knows. If you're having a good relationship, bless the Lord for that. And our scars are messages to people. When we stand here to say what we are saying today is because we know what it is to feel pain. We know what it is to go through things and you're like, my goodness, will this storm ever end? But ask yourself, you only live once. And with once, what are you doing with what you have now? Start with what you have. What you have, give it to the world. What you have, give it to your neighbor. Don't look at, oh, I don't have this. No. Many a times we focus on things we need to have while we can have. I can't start off doing something if I don't have it. I need to look at what are the means that I need to get myself started. I don't, and be able to recognize opportunities. Sometimes we are looking at a closed door for so long that an open door comes, you're constantly beeping on the same door. Sometimes learn to let go, so that you can embrace the new you. If you, like I said, going back again, if you don't fight for yourself, who's going to fight for yourself? You need to be bold to walk out of that association, that bad friendship, that bad marriage, that bad, whatever you surround yourself with that doesn't give growth to yourself, what is it doing to you? It's definitely bringing you down. So if you're not bold to break loose of association, break loose of bad habits, break loose of certain connections, you will never live. Stop the fear. Don't look at life with fear, because the moment you fear, you close your door. Look to life as an opportunist, find yourself and tell yourself, I'm going to do this. Be bold, stand up, voice yourself, liberate yourself from that closet, fight for your freedom. If you believe that you're going to be an outstanding woman don't sit down. They do everything to acquire resources. You have a book, start planning, write down your dreams, live again, vision yourself. What do you want to do? What is it that I can do in life? What can I do? Don't fight to fit in, fight to stand out. Don't fight to want to do the same things your neighbor is doing. Look at your life. Start watering your garden. Start planting. Start nurturing your garden. And when you begin to do that, amazing results come. Definitely your tree, even your flowers start to blossom. And that's the beauty of looking at yourself as a result of what you are. You were that, now you can become. In other words, embrace every day as an opportunity to get better. Look at life with possibilities. Tell yourself, I'm worthy, I deserve this opportunity. And when you say that to yourself, you are really, really accumulating what you are saying to yourself. Stop looking down on yourself. No, there is no time to blame anybody for anything, but look to life and say, you know what, I'm learning. Improve every day. If you don't fight for yourself, ask yourself, there's so much work to be done. So if you're not doing this work today, who is doing it for you? Write down your dreams. Get a vision board, work on this. If there's some old materials you have, sometimes in the old days, you can actually get opportunities. Go back, reschedule again, plan again, go back to that investor, just do something. But don't remain where you are, because it's a journey, and this journey is beautiful only for those who see the beauty of it. Life isn't always fine. With COVID-19 being restricting us, people are still doing their things at home. People are literally working from home. Some are risking on going out, flying, because things need to get done. Let me remind you, COVID-19 will pass. What then will become of you and I?
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you. That is a great analogy, and speaking from your heart. I just want to say to audience, hope you enjoyed the video and you took away quite a lot of information. And to all young people as well, there will be more interviews with young entrepreneur, young people who actually found themselves. So I'll bring more videos for you as well. So stay with us and keep watch out for more interviews. So I just want to say thank you to Hendrina for your time and for your motivation and for your knowledge, sharing your knowledge and experience with us. And I do hope that people will take not just young women but also men take the information you gave, because it applies to anybody's life really. Take the information away and apply some of those to improve themselves. You are a living example of how you came out from a situation and what you became, and I can see clearly a woman leader for future, like you already a leader, but how you're going through is, So yeah, it's really important to look at role models, really, people like yourself and others, to discover yourself and be what you want to be. So um, I'm going to finish off here, and please do like and share the video with others and subscribe to the videos so that you can see more, because we're going to have a regular episode very often now, not just monthly. We started with monthly, but we're getting quite a lot of people showing interest, so there'll be more videos coming up. Thank you, everyone.